Thank you very much for joining today's session. Today we will be discussing on the topic of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. And before we dive into discussing about him, I would humbly like to offer my respectful obeisances to my spiritual master, Sri Srimad Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. He is the direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Very mercifully, he initiated me into this movement of Hare Krishna Society. Then I offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, because today we are discussing about him. I beg him to kindly shower his blessings upon me and upon all of us. Then we can really understand the spirit which he had brought along with him to give bhakti to everyone without discrimination. I offer my respects to Sri Panchatattva, the five prominent personalities, the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, Lord Balaram, Lord Vishnu, Srimati Radharani, and Sri Narad Muni. They incarnated, these five personalities, they incarnated as Sri Panchatattva so that the door to Golok Vrindavan can be open for everyone. And I finally offer my repeated obeisances to the divine couple, Sri Sri Radha Krishna. I also request you all wonderful devotees who have gathered today evening to kindly bless me so that I can speak something valuable on this glorious topic about Srila Prabhupada. I'm again very happy to see you all joined in this session. As of now, 47 devotees are there. And it is great to see that being the weekend, Saturday, though it is lockdown, also because of Corona effect and many other things, but still IPL is going on, the cricket match. But you have chosen to take part in this program, and this gives a lot of bliss. This gives a lot of happiness. Thank you very much again for joining. So we'll start today's session on Srila Prabhupada. As you all know, Srila Prabhupada, he is the founder of ISKCON. In 1966, the year 1966, in New York, Srila Prabhupada incorporated ISKCON Society. And ISKCON means it is an international society which helps everyone without discrimination. We don't discriminate between male, female, or kid or old based on somebody's religion, their caste or creed, what color they have, which part of the world they belong to, what all things they have done in their past. Without any such discrimination, Srila Prabhupada created this society so that everyone can practice Krishna consciousness, so that everyone can chant Krishna's name, become his devotee, and go back to Golok Vrindavan. The process which Srila Prabhupada established was given by Lord Krishna himself, and then later on propagated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna's incarnation. But this was confined only in India. But Srila Prabhupada, he came and he distributed this same knowledge to the whole world. That's how we find that devotees are joining from Germany, somebody is joining from UK, and there is no restriction because of the boundaries. The countries may have their own laws and restrictions and not allowed or allowed, but the practice which Srila Prabhupada gave to all of us is without discrimination. Anybody can practice this. So before we get into this topic, I would, in a gist, I would like to give a story from Ramayana, as Ram Navami is few days from today. So when Lord Ram, along with his 3 brothers, took birth in the house of Dasharath Maharaj, he started crying. And not just he, all the 4 brothers were crying. And not a normal cry, they were crying aloud. So the mothers came running. They saw why the kids are crying. They were put into their cradle. Cradle means the jhula in which the kids are kept. So they were in their cradle. They started putting the cradle, but still the kids are crying. They thought they will give some toys to Lord Ram, to Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. But even after giving some toys, they were still crying. Then Maharaj Dasharath came. He started playing with the kids, but still they were crying. They called the Vaidyaraj, the doctor of those times. And then he came and he examined. He was also not able to understand why the kids are crying. How amazing point this is, that the meaning of Ram means one who gives happiness to everybody, one who is full of happiness. That is the meaning of Ram. And he gives happiness to all the creatures. The person who gives happiness, he himself is crying. Finally, many great sages, along with Vasishtha Muni, he came and they examined the situation. So there were 2 major baskets in which the kids were kept. So four boys, 4 small kids, 2 kids were kept in one basket, other 2 kids were kept in another basket. So Lord Ram and Bharat were kept in one basket, Lakshmana and Shatrughna were kept in another basket. Then Vasishtha Muni comes and he says, this is the situation. They are crying because they are not perfectly matched. You have to match them properly. If you put Lakshmana with Lord Ram and Shatrughna with Bharata, you put them in their proper basket, then they will never cry. So the mothers tried this. Lakshmana was kept with Lord Ram, Shatrughna was kept with Bharata, and amazingly, the kids stopped crying. Not just that, they were laughing now, they were enjoying. This is the same situation with all of us. Like Lakshmana was crying without Lord Ram, we also are crying without the Lord. So many disturbances, so many difficulties, so many issues and problems are there in our life because we are away from Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is that personality who is bringing Lord Krishna to all of us. And for this very reason, he established temples everywhere. Srila Prabhupada always used to say that temples are not a place where you just come, ring bell, do some prayers, give the list of your requirements to the Lord, then he will fulfill. No, Krishna is not your waiter. He is not your bellboy that you order him and then he will fulfill your requirements. But we should go to the temples. Temples are like universities where we learn about Krishna. This is the same thing happening in our Zoom sessions now. These Zoom sessions by Bhaktivedanta Deaf Community where you all are joining and participating are like the universities, like the colleges, like the schools where we get to know about the Lord and not just know him, but to start loving him. एक और, एक और. Now we'll start. I would like you to take. I would like to take you all into the year 1967-68, where Srila Prabhupada, he is sitting on a bench in the garden, and he is sitting and seeing the founder of America, the father of nation of America. His statue was there, and he's sitting there and he's just seeing and observing. At that time, one random American comes and walks to Srila Prabhupada, sits beside him, sits beside Srila Prabhupada, and asks a question to Srila Prabhupada. Oh, are you some Swami from India? Srila Prabhupada says, yeah, I am from India. Okay, so do you have your centers? Srila Prabhupada says, yes, I have many, many centers. And I have many, many disciples. Let me again remind you, at that time in 1967-68, there were hardly 3 temples and maybe 20-30 devotees along with Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada is telling to this gentleman that I am having 108 temples. I am having thousands of followers and thousands of my disciples. I am having many people who are distributing books, and I have restaurants, I have farm communities, I'm having gurukuls. That person asked, oh, where are they all? Are they there now? Can I see them? Can I meet them? Srila Prabhupada says, yes, they are there. Just that the time is separating. And guess what? In just 10 years from that day, Srila Prabhupada had all those things which he had spoken about. He built 108 temples. By 1977, by the year 1977, Srila Prabhupada had 108 temples built, many farm communities. He had gurukuls established. He had the vegetarian Govinda's restaurants everywhere. He had many, many books to be distributed. in all different languages. And he had many followers, 5,000 plus initiated disciples. So by this we understand sorry, some call had come. So by this we understand that Srila Prabhupada was not a normal human being. Whatever he spoke became true. And that is because he was pure devotee of Lord Krishna. He received direct blessings of Lord Krishna. That's how whatever he spoke became true. Okay, let's go back into the ages, many ages ago. This is a conversation between Narad Muni and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, who teaches all of us, who took incarnation to teach all of us how to practice bhakti, how to become Krishna conscious, how to follow Bhagavad Gita practically in our life. How should we chant Krishna's name? This Mahamantra which we have received. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Narad Muni, they are discussing among themselves. And at that time, Narad Muni was saying to Lord Chaitanya that in Kali Yuga, there will be many fallen souls. People will not live for a long time. They will have lots of problem in their life. They will die soon. They will have limited memory power. They cannot remember Bhagavad Gita. They cannot remember the scriptures and the verses. Their memory is very short. They will always fight between each other, keep quarreling amongst each other. And then more than any of this, people will misguide. Sometimes politicians are misguiding, bogus gurus are misguiding, scientists are misguiding. Everywhere we are seeing that people are misguiding. So what is the remedy for all of them? What do we do? At that time, Lord Chaitanya, he replied to Narad Muni, "Oh Narada, do not worry. I am going to come in Kali Yuga and I will carry a weapon, but that will not be a sword or trident or bow and arrow. That weapon is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And with this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will remove all the dirty qualities from people's heart and make them devotees." That verse I am putting in the chat box now. Fine. Now, what about others? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes, I know. I will appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Gauranga in Mayapur, and I will give bhakti to everyone in India. There will be few people who will go away to other countries, US, America, Australia, UK, all these different countries, Europe and Africa. But I will send a very powerful person. He will be my commander in chief. I will send him. He will travel around the world and he will make devotees. He will give this same Hare Krishna Mahamantra to everyone in the entire globe. And the same words which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that time to Narad Muni, I'm quoting them now. I'm typing this in the chat box. The word which was used by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Lord Gauranga, that word is Senapati Bhakta, which means commander in chief. And we understand from the history itself that this commander in chief, the Senapati Bhakta of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is none other than Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is that personality who went all over the globe, not just one time, but 14 times, gave more than 10,000 lectures, recorded videos, recorded audios. He wrote more than 80 volumes of books, translated them into all different languages. So he is that Senapati Bhakta. Srila Prabhupada is that commander-in-chief devotee of Lord Chaitanya's army. So Lord Chaitanya is having army. What weapon are they using? The weapon is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I would request you all to kindly, at least 2 times, let us all chant right now this Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Let us also practice this weapon which was given to us. At least this will help you all to wake up. So on the count of 3, we all will start it together. Okay, so Saurabh Prabhu, 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. This is the same message which Srila Prabhupada is giving to all of us. So now, being understanding this whole background, the major background, we will go into the year 1896. Okay, before we start this, I would like to inform you all that the glories of Srila Prabhupada cannot be covered in one session. So we may have to do many sessions in many parts, but do not be worried or concerned. We will try to complete as much as possible different stories of Srila Prabhupada, what all things happened, different events which happened in the life of Srila Prabhupada. We'll try to get into all of this. Try to understand at that time how Srila Prabhupada preached, what were the difficulties he was facing. And I hope you all will enjoy this. I hope you all will like this. Do you want to know? Yes or no? How do I? Okay, at least your videos are on. I can see if you do you want to know this? No, not everyone is saying yes. Neelam, do you want to know? Neelam. I'm watching Neelam. Yes, Neelam is saying yes. Vaishali, do you want to know, Vaishali, about the glories of Srila Prabhupada? Okay, yes. So let's get into the year 1896. Now, in this year 1896, India was not an independent country. India was under the rule of Britishers. And just from 800 years, India was seeing again and again the onslaughts of different invaders, the Mughals, the French, the Portuguese, all different people. They kept coming in India. They keep taking away the treasures of India, kept exploiting India. They tried their best to destroy the Indian culture. And because the Mughals ruled for a very long time, the Muslims ruled for a very long time on India. Let me not call them Muslims, the Islamic Orthodox, not the Orthodox, the Islamic invaders ruled for a long time in India. Then the Britishers came, the East India Company came. So India is under the pressure. India is under the not an independent country, but being ruled by different people from all over the world for 800 years. So at this time, in 1896, 1st September, Srila Prabhupada took his appearance into this world in the city of Calcutta, West Bengal. This was the day just after Janmashtami. So after the celebrations of Lord Krishna's birth on the Janmashtami day, the next day is called Nandotsava. I'm writing that the next day is called Nanda Otsava, which means father of Lord Krishna, Nanda Maharaj. He celebrated the birth of his child Krishna. That is why it is called as Nandotsava. And on that day, Srila Prabhupada appeared in this world, very clearly establishing to all of us that he is the one who is going to make us understand about Lord Krishna. And he is the perfect servant of Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is going to give Lord Krishna's message to everyone. So as soon as Srila Prabhupada took his birth, all the family members became very happy. They started enjoying and celebrating. And then they called, after some time, they called for an astrologer to see the charts of Srila Prabhupada. Then the astrologer comes, and then he makes the calculation, and he makes the chart, he makes the kundali, and he tries to find out what Srila Prabhupada would be doing in his future. Then he says, either this boy will be the India's most rich person, the billionaire of India, the best businessman of India, or this person will become a sannyasi guru. He will have many people follow under him, work under him. He will have many centers, more than hundreds of centers. And nobody will be able to defeat him. Let that be any argument on any topic, nobody will be able to defeat him. Nobody can challenge his conviction. He will be very strong in his beliefs, and he will be the one who can accomplish all his beliefs. Whatever he believes in, he will make that happen. Hearing this, the family was very happy. They were really enjoying. So Srila Prabhupada, his father was Srila Gaur Mohan De. I'll put his name also. Was from a business class family and was a very, very good, great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada's mother was also very, very kind mother. She was very caring. Rajini Mataji, that is the name of his father, not the mother. Gaur Mohan De is the name of the father. So from the very childhood of Srila Prabhupada, his father wanted him to become a very great devotee of Lord Krishna. And his father made it a point that somehow or other, I will make my son very good devotee of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada's mother wanted him to become a very good businessman and a barrister. At that time, everyone of the high class society were becoming the barristers. Nowadays, we call them as advocates or the lawyers. That time, they were called as barristers. But Srila Prabhupada's father, he always wanted his son, that means Srila Prabhupada, to become a great devotee. Let him be a businessman or a serviceman, in government offices or at home, doing farming or doing business. But his son should become a good devotee. So even when when Srila Prabhupada was a small kid, his father brought him a mridanga drum. Now mridanga drum is, you would have seen it, it's little long, and devotees play it while doing kirtan. So they play the kartals and then they play the mridanga also. So Srila Prabhupada's father brought him the mridanga drum. Even when Srila Prabhupada was so small that his hands were not reaching the ends of the mridanga drum. Means if he's playing from one hand, he cannot play from another hand because it was so big for him. But his father wanted him to learn. So he brought the mridanga drum. And he said, you should rehearse, you should practice mridanga. So you should do kirtan, you should sing kirtan and play mridanga. And after some time, his father appointed a teacher, a home schooling teacher who used to come to Srila Prabhupada's house and teach Srila Prabhupada how to play mridanga. And his father, Gaur Mohan De, he gave very wonderful name to his son, to Srila Prabhupada. So the name which was given by his father was Abhay Charan. And De, because that was his surname, Abhay Charan De. What is the meaning of this name? Abhaya means fearless. And Lord Krishna is fearless. And Charan means lotus feet. Charan means the feet. So one who is always meditating about, or the one who is devotee of the feet of Krishna, he is Abhay Charan. Srila Prabhupada, he has informed his devotees that how his father was always focusing his son to become a devotee. And for that reason, he brought the Mirdanga drum. For that reason, he brought the teacher to teach him Mridanga. Like that, many other incidences. And Srila Prabhupada used to say that my family was a devoted family. His father had a business of cloth merchant. He was a cloth merchant. But he was a very great devotee. Srila Prabhupada used to recall that early morning when Srila Prabhupada used to wake up, the alarm clock or the alarm sound was the ding, 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 ding sound of the bell. This bell is the bell which his father used to ring during doing his arti and puja to the Radha Krishna deity, to the Radha Krishna Vigraha. And many times, Srila Prabhupada's father used to ask him to go and worship. Abhay, you go and worship Radha Krishna today. So that's how Srila Prabhupada learned how to worship. This is a very important lesson for all of us. That how do we trick our kids to become Krishna conscious? How do we trick them to become devotees of Krishna? How do we trick them to take this culture forward? First is we should be worshipping Radha Krishna, at least in their picture form. And then we should trick the kids. Oh, do you know how to do agarbatti? Do you know how to do lamp? Do you know how to ring a bell? Show me how you can do this. And the kids will, I know. And then they will go and then they will do. So now coming to the age of 5, Srila Prabhupada was around 5 years old. And even now you would have heard this tradition of Rath Yatra, Sri Jagannath Rath Yatra. This is very famous in Jagannath Puri, where Lord Jagannath or Lord Krishna, along with his brother and sister, they come out on a chariot. It's a huge chariot, 3 chariots. And they go on a ride from one temple to another temple. It is believed that Lord Jagannath or Krishna, he is traveling from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So in that remembrance, in that pastime, devotees celebrate this huge festival of Rath Yatra. So everyone all over India, even to this day, devotees keep going to Jagannath Puri on this particular date of Jagannath Rath Yatra. And anybody who could not go, they used to celebrate at their own home or in their own street or localities. And Srila Prabhupada, from the childhood, he was seeing that, oh, different people are celebrating. They are having their own Rath and they are pulling and they are doing their Rath Yatra. So Srila Prabhupada said, I also want to do my own Rath Yatra. So little Abhay went to his father and he said, Baba, I also want to do Rath Yatra. get me a Rath. Now, Gormonde is like, you are a small kid. Do you really want? He said, yes, yes, yes. I want to do. I want to celebrate Rath Yatra. I also want to go take him on the streets. I will celebrate. Said, fine. His father was always encouraging him. So they went for searching for a cart for Rath, but they could not get a proper Rath. Because of this, Srila Prabhupada was crying a lot. And he kept crying. Many people came from different places. There was a temple near to the house of Srila Prabhupada, the Radha Govinda temple. So the pujari also came from there. They started explaining Srila Prabhupada, don't worry, you can come and take part in that Rath Yatra. We will take you to the Rath Yatra. He said, no, I want my own Rath. I want to celebrate. So one lady was passing by there and he said, why this child is crying? And then everybody is explaining that he wants to celebrate Rath Yatra. So we are not getting a proper Rath for him. The lady said, okay, don't worry, don't worry. Oh kid, you don't cry. Don't worry, I am having a Rath. I will give my Rath to you. You take that Rath. So that was a small Rath in which a child can play, around 3 feet tall from the ground, and having tires also on all the 4 sides. Then Abhay became very happy. Then Srila Prabhupada became very happy. Said, yes, yes, I will do it. Everyone was just shocked to see how Srila Prabhupada became so happy and he was celebrating Rath Yatra. Not just this, not that he was making Jagannath sit and then just pulling the cart. Not just that, but he had invited everyone around. He called different people, arranged some groups to do kirtan. He told somebody to play mridanga, somebody to play kartal. He asked his mother to cook for everyone. He did bhoga offering to Lord Jagannath. He did arati, ringing the bell. He called all his friends. Personally, he tied the ropes to the ratha and gave in the hand of his friends and said, now you pull. So Srila Prabhupada and his sister, she also took part in this. All different friends took part in this. This was just what was supposed to become only a child's play, became the festival for the whole community of that area. So instead of people going to other different places for celebrating their Rath Yatra, they came to Srila Prabhupada's Rath Yatra. So this again shows us that how much attached Srila Prabhupada was to Lord Jagannath. And this same Rath Yatra festival, which he celebrated at the age of 5, he celebrated throughout his lifetime. And now let me inform you all that in every country apart from 4, in the whole world, Rath Yatra celebrations are happening. Just in Bangalore, we have 4 Rath Yatras every year. Because of Srila Prabhupada, there is a Rath Yatra in New York, in San Francisco, in London, in Australia, in Germany, all over the world. You name a city and Rath Yatra is happening there. So now Srila Prabhupada, he grew up a little more, and with his eyes, he was witnessing what the Britishers were trying to do. Artificially hoarding the grains. and making sure that the Hindus fight with the Muslims. Srila Prabhupada grew more. He kept increasing his devotion to Radha Krishna, and his father used to invite sadhus to his house. There were many saints who were coming to their house, and every time his father used to bring them, give them a feast, make them sit and eat a lot of prasad, and at the end he used to ask Abhay, come here, give some money in the hand of Abhay and say, give this dakshina to the sadhus. And when Srila Prabhupada, little Abhay, used to give that dakshina to the sadhus, he used to touch their feet. And that time Srila Prabhupada's father used to tell the sadhus, please bless so that my child can become a very great devotee of Srimati Radharani. Let my child become a very great devotee of Srimati Radharani. Keep blessing him, keep blessing him. Srila Prabhupada saw by himself that some are very good sadhus, some are very good saints, but some were bogus, some were not true saints, some were fake. But his father kept the culture alive. He always made sure that good or bad, he prayed for his son that let him become a very great devotee of Srimati Radharani. And then Srila Prabhupada grew still further. He got admitted into a college, which was one of the best college at that time, the Scottish Church College, which is even famous now in Calcutta. So Srila Prabhupada was studying at that in those years, and that is when the Gandhi movement, the Nehru movement, and the movement of Subhash Chandra Bose was picking up. Let me also inform you that Subhash Chandra Bose, the great freedom fighter of India, was a senior college mate of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada and Subhash Chandra Bose, they studied in the same college. And at that time, when Srila Prabhupada was in his college, he was that in India, the Gandhi movement of non-cooperation was going on because of the different political reasons and things which were there. So Srila Prabhupada, he passed his college with very good grades, with excellent grades, but because he was following the Gandhian movement, the non-cooperation movement, he did not accept the degree. He was having the full knowledge, but he did not accept the degree. And then further, he stopped wearing all the clothes which were coming from the Western world, and he started wearing the khadi dress, which was locally made, locally distributed by the handlooms of India, especially done in Calcutta and Bengal. The jute cloth, the cotton cloth, the khadi cloth. So later, after passing out from his college, Srila Prabhupada, he wanted to start his own business. So he went to one pharmaceutical company by name the Bose Pharmaceutical, which was the India's largest pharmaceutical company at that time. The company which makes medicines, all different types of medicines. Bose Pharmaceutical. So then at the very same time, Srila Prabhupada got his job, and he started learning how to prepare a medicine and started a business also, a pharmaceutical business at the same time. This Dr. Bose, in whose company Srila Prabhupada worked, the pharmaceutical owner, he is the one who helped in Indian freedom fighting. Srila Prabhupada was having a very close relation with all of them. He gave many chemicals for Bhagat Singh and all that party for their freedom fighting struggles. Now we are coming to the year 1922. And I will end over here. We will see if there are some questions after this. In 1922, Srila Prabhupada was walking along with his friend by name Naren. And Naren, who was friend of Srila Prabhupada, he started saying to Srila Prabhupada that I know there is a very great sadhu of Gaudiya Mutt by name Bhakti Siddhanta has come. Let us go and meet him. Srila Prabhupada said, no, I have seen many sadhus at my own home. In my childhood, I had met so many sadhus that you cannot meet in your entire life. So I'm not interested in coming to any of these sadhus. They just wear the saffron cloth, but they smoke bidi at the end. So the friend said, no, this sadhu is not like that. He is very great. And he follows what he speaks. And he speaks only from the scriptures. Srila Prabhupada said, no, I just don't want to come. Then his friend again started saying, so there was an argument going on between the two. And then finally, Naren said him, if you are my real friend, then come and meet him. So Naren started pulling Srila Prabhupada by his hand. He pulled him physically. Srila Prabhupada said, see, if he doesn't turn out to be a good one, then you will never again call me for anything else. And Naren said, fine, this would be the last. Come for this one for sure. So they went, Naren and Srila Prabhupada, they went to this particular mutt at Ulta Danga Junction in Calcutta. And this great sadhu, his name was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. I will write his name in the chat box.
Ramakrishna is saying time is up, Prabhu.
Yeah, we will stop. We'll stop at this. So this personality, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he later on became the guru of Srila Prabhupada. In short, we will call him BSST, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Is Dayal Gauranga Prabhu online? You can just ask him what is how to sign for Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada. Maybe he's not there. Anyways.
We do not have Dayal Prabhu today.
Okay. So in the next session on Srila Prabhupada, we will discuss about the first meeting the first argument, there was an argument between Srila Prabhupada and his guru. So what was so there was then later on what happened? What did Sri Chaitanya, what did Srila Prabhupada did further? How about his family life? All these things we'll discuss in our next session. I guess we have some time, maybe 5-10 minutes. If there is some question, we can take some question.